Fellas, say goodbye to Chuck Sherman the boy. I am now a man. I highly recommend you join the club. We are doing the wild thing all night.
Acid house music.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Sherm.
Sherman, I cook all this food. Is that all you gonna eat?
General Sherman realized and understood the importance of house music.
So, do you know anything about techno?
No.
Listen.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the brand new episode of Sherm in the Booth. I'm Chris, your host, Sherm. Today is Thursday, October 3rd, 2019. This is episode 08484 of Sherm in the Booth, and I got a very, very special episode here for you guys. This one is centered around entrepreneurship, starring Chris Nardi and Evan Miller, the brains behind a brand called Boosted Stripes. Boosted Stripes is a shoe accessory brand for the Addy Boost line by Adidas. These guys have done so much good work in the past 2 years or so. I have a lot of respect for all the hours and the grind that they put into this. I don't want to explain their brand. I will let them do that correctly, but this interview had so many different pieces of great information. We talked about how to market to different types of people, including male and female, international markets, how to correctly scale, and how to target people on different forms of social media, whether it be Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, YouTube. They have done it all, and they've made their mistakes, and they're sharing some of their secrets. If you guys are trying to grow your brand in anything involved with social media, which is literally any brand these days, take out a pen and paper and turn it up a little bit. These guys are the masters. I'm so pumped for you guys to hear this. Chris, Evan, it was great to see you guys and hang out. I've known these guys for almost 10 years, and I'm so proud of all they've accomplished. But without further ado, let's get into it, guys. Episode 84 with Boosted Stripes. It's fucking crazy because we were part of the YouTube revolution when it started.
It's crazy, dude. It's the next. I think it's going to be. I mean, it probably is. It's just absorbing things in terms of like. Not even selling product, but absorbing content.
Yeah.
Like, Instagram's great for it in a short little burst.
Yeah.
Facebook's good for it for 2 seconds. YouTube, like, you're sitting there watching a 15-minute video.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Yeah. It's amazing, like, from the perspective of a music producer, too. I think every single fucking interview that I have with somebody who makes music, like, oh, when'd you start making music? Oh, I saw these videos on YouTube. Like, I've never been to a... I was self-taught. And I was fucking
100%.
self-taught. And it's crazy. You can learn anything. YouTube
100%.
University, man.
Photoshop.
Like, if you want to be good at what you do, get a master's degree from YouTube.
From YouTube, just Googling it.
Yeah.
It's no joke, though. It's so true.
People are professionals on there, too. It's like not some fucking... In the beginning,
Yeah.
YouTube was the Numa Yag type guys,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And then it was like for creators to share their content. And then they were like, oh, well, maybe I can, like, get people to subscribe. And then on top of that, they subscribe, and then you can get them drawn to your website.
Yep. YouTube's done a good job, too, at giving back to creators.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
a lot of, like, Instagram, Facebook-wise, which Facebook now realizes and is fighting back and struggling to try and bring creators back on.
Yeah.
They've done a great job at saying, hey, if you use our platform, we'll monetize it for you and give back to you in a fair-ish... I mean, they always get under some scrutiny for whatever reasons, but they're great at giving back. And getting
They are, and it's for the creator. So like, if you try and upload a mix or something that's not yours to YouTube, boom, no fucking chance. SoundCloud's trying to do that too. Like, it used to be kind of like YouTube in the beginning. You can upload anything. Like, DJs used to go on tour for making remixes that got famous on SoundCloud.
You're saying about Blau, right?
Yeah, Blau. He did mashups that had millions of plays.
And SoundCloud doesn't give a shit. They leave it on no matter what.
They
just
left it
like,
on in the
whatever.
beginning, and then there was this huge rollover where it was like, you get strikes. And I had a SoundCloud account with 2 strikes. You get 3 strikes, you're fucking, it's done, deleted. Can't ever access it again. It's not just locked, it's gone. So
That's everything you've done.
just gone.
disappears.
Yeah, that's why I got backups of the backups
I
in
didn't
the
know
cloud.
SoundCloud was doing that. That's
Yeah,
nuts.
but now so much of that shit happened. People couldn't even upload a mix because they're acting like you're monetizing someone else's. So if you upload Bodak Yellow Cardi B and say it's by Chris Nardi, like it's
taken down right
yeah,
away.
here's my new track. Like, that gets cut. But they've really loosened up on mixes.
Good.
And now they're actually making it possible to monetize your music through through Apple Music, through iTunes, everything, Spotify. So it's crazy because Facebook seems to be doing the same thing.
Really?
Well, I mean, like you said,
For videos and stuff, I know they're
it's trying to draw people back to Facebook.
Yeah.
Why do you think they tried to buy Snapchat? Snapchat probably should have sold it.
100%.
I don't use Snapchat at all anymore.
No, and I mean some people still use it, but really like
People definitely do.
Yeah, but I think the crowd that was using Snapchat is almost completely converted to TikTok.
Yeah.
Like there's people still on Snapchat, like no doubt, but the amount of attention that's on TikTok and like the amount of views that people get organically is just insane.
Yeah.
And then like the traction they get. So if you're on TikTok and you post something, like the common hashtags are FYP or For You page, and if you happen to hit the For You page, it's like Explore for Instagram. You get hundreds of thousands, if not millions of views. And like I'll go through and I'll click on these guys' names, and like some of them will have 3 posts and they'll already have 100,000 followers just because they did like one video that got viral and hit the For You page, and now everybody follows them. So it's pretty wild to see the amount of attention, and just like in order for a view, like the person has to watch the video. So you're going through TikTok and you're seeing millions of views, whereas like you scroll through Instagram, like those videos don't have millions of views.
No,
like people aren't sitting there and consuming the same way they are on TikTok.
And it's interesting. Part of that also makes me think of like going back to, it's like the Wild Wild West for them right now. With like if you think of like early days YouTube, like they had an Explore page and they would never have someone like Dylan on that thing. It would literally be one person, and that person would be getting million. You know what I mean? It's almost a similar model thing of that's going on right now. If you made it there early and you're doing things early, which we hear time and time again with Instagram giveaways when they were popular, stuff like that. Yeah, it's like the same thing right now going on TikTok.
Yeah, no, if you're early at anything, like you kind of just like the first adapter, and people follow you because you're first there.
If you beat the algorithm first,
it was crazy with YouTube. Like what kind of sparked the, I guess, like social media sense, because YouTube used to be like fully DIY or like learn how to guitar or something like that. It was never like, yo, let me go
learn
watch
how to guitar.
Well, no one was ever like, let me go watch this kid jump around and like pop balloons or some shit, you know? And like now there's someone, I think his name's McHugh, and I believe he's in Chicago. He's a soccer player. He probably has 500,000 subs, maybe 1 million subs, and all he does is post videos of different soccer cleats stepping on eggs, stepping on Jello, and like he's making hundreds of thousands of dollars because he just posts these minute videos of him stepping on random stuff with cleats. And like, I kid you not, the whole video is the camera, one frame. Just
he explained it to me. I'm like, no, it's
wild.
Not. And then I watched like 5 of them with him. He's like, check out the red Jello one now.
It's all the same. But back to where I was going with that was the whole reason that whole culture even like became there was because of Vine and Vine closing. So you had like probably
Vine was
I
fucking
don't know
awesome.
exactly how many, but at least 10 to 12 like really big people on Vine. Like I think there was like Amanda Cerny, King Batch, Jake Paul or Logan Paul, and like once Vine closed, all these guys went to YouTube. And so all the attention then went to YouTube, and that's what kind of really blew up the social aspect of YouTube.
Yeah, and I mean I think Snapchat went down was because it like became a tabloid. You know, like the Discover page or whatever. The stories were obviously fucking awesome when
Instagram murdered them.
Instagram stories.
Instagram murdered them.
That was game over.
Murdered them. I remember being like, I'm not gonna like. No one's looking at my Snapchat story. Plus, it was just like, I don't know. I didn't like it once it made that switch on Instagram. I was like, I'm just gonna use Instagram. I had more followers. At that point, when they did that too, I was DJing and doing my podcast, and I was like, if I put this out on Snapchat, it's not going to get nearly as many looks, and I'm trying to get my name out there, and then it ended up just being like random promotion, and I was like, I don't even want to use Snapchat anymore. And now it's just like
it's interesting.
Private, inappropriate things to the homies.
I don't use it, but I know people that use that Explore page on Snapchat to like get their news, get like just random things.
A lot of companies do advertise on there still. Like, I know Movement's pretty hard on there.
I think it's working well.
There's just millions of people that use it.
I mean, it's just like the cost to advertise there is way lower because of kind of how the platform's been playing out.
Yeah.
It's not a bad, like, taking in that ad, it's not a bad way of doing it. Like, I don't hate the way it's set up. I click through them every time. It's like I've probably never, like, swiped up to an ad on it. But I don't hate kind of the format of it on the...
It's a smart format.
Puts it right in your face.
Because if you click it again, then you go to the next one and you're like, oh, well, I was waiting for the next part of this story, which is good. What do you guys think is like the current media absorber, like us, and then what do you guys think it's going to be? Because it was short spurts with Vine, and then it was longer videos with YouTube, still short, and then it was Instagram, and then Instagram did the videos, and then now they have IGTV, which is 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
Is it going to be in between, or are we going to go back to long, or is it always going to be short spurts just because of the oversaturation?
It's a good question. I think in terms of how it's going to be pushed to people, I think influencers are huge now, and I think they're going to continue to be.
Yeah.
Mainly because, kind of like what you were saying before, if you get served an ad on Instagram, you've never seen the product before, you don't give a shit. It's intrusive. You don't want to see it. It almost pisses you off that it was there.
Yeah.
Now if you're following an athlete, a vlogger, whoever you're following on some sort of, however you're taking it in, and they're just organically talking about a product, you're now on that team. Yeah. So I think, vlogs are huge right now. I think probably that sweet spot is probably, I think it's going to be longer. I think it's kind of going to be a longer thing, and I think it's going to be more of an organic, less paid field push. So more organic, more influencers type thing.
What do you think, Chris?
I would say that it just, honestly, it, goes through its life cycles because, you had Vine, and it was the whole idea of 15-second kind of trick videos in a sense. Yeah. And now that went away, moved to Instagram, you have Snapchat, and now TikTok's picking back up. Yeah. And so you're getting this whole cycle because TikTok's going to be, I would say 8 to 13 is probably your target age on TikTok. Yeah. And those are the people that are going to make the decision of what happens next.
Yes, true.
They're not going to be, they'll be influenced by influencers, but at the same time, there's a whole world of 12-year-old influencers that nobody's aware of. Yeah. We know these big names that have 12 million followers.
That's a very good point.
What you don't know is that 13-year-old girl that puts on makeup on TikTok has 50 million followers. And I just think that nobody really knows what could happen next because it's just there's all these different mediums that have all this different attention that's so separate in a sense.
True. And it's if you're going to build a business and make something monetary too, if you're that, let's just say I come across these random Instagram pages that have 500,000 to 3 million, they're verified, and I'm who the fuck is this person? Yeah. But they're monetizing the shit out of that because the people that follow them, and it's kind of going to loop around how you guys do it with your guys' word of mouth, You have people that are consistently buying your product and spreading that word rather than people who are somewhat entertaining on social media, but there's nothing behind that. They have videos that they make. It could be a DJ or, a producer, anybody in the media stream that isn't able to make money but has a lot of followers, and they're not going to be successful because they don't actually have that core following. I always talk about the dive bar recipe. Mm-hmm. Why the fuck do dive bars last so long in Chicago, New York, LA? It's because people know what they're gonna get.
Yeah,
it's
the character and they've been there for years now.
Exactly. So it's about consistency. Yeah. It's about literally it's just about consistency and being relatable to your market. From what I've learned is marketing 101 is fucking niche marketing long tail, right? It's pretty impossible to get every single person. Yeah. Global brands and stuff, food brands, my day job is in food, transportation, and logistics, and the Kellogg's, the General Mills, people all know those brands because it's food you ate, it's food you eat right now, it's food you're going to feed your kids, right? So those is obviously a large market. With your guys' specific shoes, you found out who they were, you targeted the living fuck out of them, and you still continue to do that, and you count on them to grow your brand. That's what I do with this podcast. I target people that it's going to make sense that they want to ingest it. Who am I serving? Yeah. So, you guys have done an incredible job. And I will get into the history of Bootstripes since we're on this. How do you guys market right now? How did you start marketing initially when you didn't know anybody? Yeah. And then how do you do it now? What's changed?
So I guess how we first started was it was just pretty much cold DMs to as many people as possible that were in the sneaker game. We're posting pictures and just trying to make friends with them at the end of the day. You'd introduce yourself, you'd tell them, hey, this is what we're doing, and at first it was just a fuck ton of no's. It just nonstop was no. Yeah. And then we figured out kind of the right groups to go from, and then you'd work with one. You'd say, hey, do you have a couple friends that would like this? And it would just slowly turn into these groups of photographers that were all shooting together that would all have our products.
And to preface a little bit, this was at a time 2 years ago, Ultra Boost had already come out, but it was at its hot point right now. Yeah. So in the sneaker community, the people we're talking to love Ultra Boost. Yeah. Thought everything about it was cool, and Adidas' campaign at that time was here to create.
Dude, it's like Jordan 1 lovers, or Nike
exactly.
Air Force.
Totally.
Yeah, they're gonna fucking do that, and that's all they're gonna get.
100%. So Adidas had this thing of here to create. So now you have all these people who are pushing the brand that are trying to go along with their motto. So they're sitting here and they're saying, "How can I create? What can I do?" Yeah. Sorry to cut you off.
No, it's a very good point, yeah.
Yeah, so that was kind of, exactly. So it was just very popular at that point in time. So I don't want to say it was easy, but they were already shooting pictures of that shoe. So to say, hey, do you want to make your picture a little bit different? Do you want to try and stand out compared to the other people shooting the shoe?
Yeah.
They were like, yeah, why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't I want to just put on like red stripes and match it to my red pants?
Right.
Or something like that to make it unique.
And when the Explore page is saturated with the same model of Ultra Boost everywhere, adding a little chrome on it, adding red on it, they see that right away. It's value added to them right away.
It kind of reminds me of like when we were growing up and cars would throw rims or spoilers on them. I don't know if it was the Need for Speed age.
Yeah, totally.
But I'm thinking, it's a Honda Civic with a spoiler and rims on there. I'm like, God damn, that's kind of a cool car.
Civic's a perfect.
We're the spoiler and the rims. So.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, and those aren't expensive to make.
Yeah.
Not expensive to distribute. Mm-hmm. It's really interesting.
It was honestly, it's a win-win for e-commerce because like when you're selling something online, like you have to be able to reach a big enough audience, and the product has to be small enough so that's like lightweight to ship.
Yeah.
You can't have something that's fragile.
Yeah.
And like granted, you can do all of those things, but it's going to make your life way harder to start.
Way harder.
So picking something that doesn't break, that's flat, and that weighs virtually nothing was like, okay, we could mess with this because like you're not going to be on the losing end when something goes wrong with your shipment or with the product.
Good point.
You can always replace it.
It's not necessarily time sensitive too.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. You literally got down to the fucking nitty gritty, the shipping and handling.
The shipping sucked at first, like we kind of touched on before we were talking earlier.
Yeah.
We were using just that postage, so it's 30 to 40 cents. Like same thing you do essentially if you're selling like a letter to your grandma. It's like you put an envelope, bigger envelope, obviously.
No tracking.
Same postage, no tracking. So we're selling these things probably at that time probably 20-30%, probably more, probably 20-30% international.
Yeah.
They're getting a letter sent to them from the U.S.
You're not making it. No way.
to the Philippines that like they're like, can we track this? We're like. Probably 2 to 3.
Yeah.
Back then it was 3.
I get packages here that like we've shipped in 2018. Like they get returned, and you're like, really? It takes
just been sitting in a bin in the
12
Philippines.
months
like,
to make it around the world. Like thanks USPS.
No
Jesus, that's crazy.
But back to
Going
also
back
how,
to-
back to how we also marketed.
Yeah.
So like influencer marketing was like probably the biggest part in terms of getting like social proof.
Yeah.
So. And where we really saw that come into effect was we kind of made the decision early on. There's a big sneaker convention. It's called SneakerCon, and it happens across the United States, across the world. It's gotten much bigger since it started. But we were like, this is what people do. They bring their product on the road. They try to introduce it to new people, and you see if anyone bites.
Yeah.
And I remember like we go to the first show.
It was mental.
And everyone here.
Where was it at? In Chicago?
It was I think this first one was Memphis, maybe.
No, it was...
Or Atlanta?
I think it was Atlanta.
It could have been Atlanta. So Atlanta, like, is big sneaker culture, huge sneaker culture.
Yeah.
Not Adidas.
All Jordan.
Just Nike and Jordan.
All Jordan.
Just Nike and Jordan. Like, these people looked at us like we were crazy. Like,
Stupidest
what
brother
are you
all
doing?
time.
And, like, you get the few and far between would have a pair of Ultra Boosts. You'd be like, yo, dude, like, we make this product. You could put on your stripes. You could give it to them for free. And they're like, nah, bro, I'm not putting stickers on my shoes.
So you leave this thing and it's like, no.
And, some of the people you're going up to are like the same age, and then some of the people you're going up to like maybe like a 14-year-old, and they're like, nah, that's stupid. And you're like,
Stickers
Like,
on
can't even get the 14-year-old.
Like, that was what I thought my market was.
But their parents would come up to us and be like, these kids are asking for a $300 pair of shoes, and the parents would see this $15 like stand. They're like,
perfect.
Genius.
Yeah.
They're like, Jonah, come over. So pick 3 of them out.
Nice.
So we did that, and we went to, I forget.
That's grassroots, baby.
We went to Memphis, Atlanta, Las Vegas, Toronto, London.
This is all coming in your guys' pocket, obviously.
Yeah, and like some of them went really well.
So for Atlanta, we came back.
Totally
we're like, should we do another one? We're like, let's try one more out.
Yeah.
Second one, we're like close to breaking even, and then at the last second, this behemoth of a human being comes up to us, shakes our hand. He's got like these just bear paws that shake up. He buys like how much?
I think he paid like $300 worth of shit.
Just fucking cash out. We're like, all right.
And like,
Okay.
granted, like we're not selling anything, so like he had to come up and say like, let me get $300.
It made us
you can take the whole table.
Yeah.
Like,
Made that second one broke even, and we're like, okay, let's just keep going. Like,
Yeah.
brand awareness is good, and then we made money on every single other one.
That guy was at least 4 of them.
Shit.
Kept finding us
Every time, $200-$300. He was like, yeah, re-up. And we're like, what are you doing?
Re-up.
And we hooked him up. Like we would give him like 30 of these for like that price. We're like, yo, just like Pick out, won't give you a number.
I'm like, yeah, I know I'm trying to be like a salesperson, but like, what are you doing with all these stripes? Like, I don't know how you're going to use them, but...
Damn.
So he was like a little bit of a savior, and...
where was it most successful? Or where's the biggest?
Toronto, I would say,
Yeah.
in Canada. But it almost turned out to be like the worst because, you know, you don't really think, like, you're just crossing the border of Canada. So you're not like... You're like, yeah, everything's fine. Like, we're just going across the border.
And this is us prepping for it. Like,
so we left it. Yeah, we left at 9 p.m. at night too.
Yeah.
So we were gonna get there at like 2 a.m. And we crossed the border and phones don't work. We're
like, we didn't even think about.
Oh my
the
god,
fact
cell
that neither
coverage
of
is
us-
out.
I definitely would not have thought about that.
Yeah, navigation's gone. We pulled in a parking lot, got like Wi-Fi, screenshotted the directions to make it. Get in the hotel, get to SneakerCon the next day, think everything's fine. We're like, fuck yeah, thank God. And then we're like, yo, how do we take payments?
People are pulling out their credit cards. And
People
we're
are pulling out their credit cards.
we're
We
like,
don't
oh,
have service to scan it on our phones.
Cash only.
And then everyone's like, all right, how
Truck,
much?
yeah.
Everyone's like, how much are they? And we're like, $15. So like, we only have Canadian. I'm like, oh my god,
everything's got the
how are we gonna get change for any of these people? And
Had a few of those.
and it worked out, but like it was pretty funny because
That's
right when the
hilarious.
doors opened, it was like a grand opening of like Chuck E. Cheese or something. Like hundreds of kids sprinting to every table. Like within 30 seconds, we had 15 kids surrounding us. Like,
And at this
talking
point,
to
we
us,
gained
asking-
enough little momentum that like we were starting to see people who knew where we like they
Yeah,
knew us
we
at
knew
these
we
things.
were.
Like people would come up and be like, "Yo, I was DMing you the other day." Like,
Yeah,
like
that was. Or yeah, I saw you on Instagram, stuff like that. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Then,
Wow.
that's it.
super cool to see there.
So I mean, it was definitely a grind going back and forth, but it was fun. And then I would say finally, like, the last few were like pretty successful. Where we were really happy about them. Like London, Evan didn't come to London, but my sister came to London and helped. And the line to London was probably like equivalent to like 2 blocks long. And as I walked with like our suitcase full of shit, like everybody's saying, "Yo, that's Boosted Stripes. That's Boosted Stripes."
Yeah.
You know, we're across the country or across the world.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, stuff.
Across the pond.
Yeah, and then we get to New York, and we meet some random guy comes up to the table. He's like, "You guys looking for any money? Do you want an investor?" I'm like, "This is so odd," but like we took his card and we talked with him. We ended up making a deal with him.
This is the guy.
Yeah, we ended up making a deal with him. We met him in December, and I think we signed a deal in April.
And his whole thing too, some of the value added from him was what he does now is he just is a mentor to companies. So it's not like he's just this money bags that like just want to toss money.
Yeah.
He's a guy that has 5 to 6 companies under him. He has a team of people under him that PR person, some website guru, et cetera, comes up to us and say, "Hey, not just is it funding if you need it, but also tons of resources if you need it."
And so we worked with him for 7 months, I want to say. And I think what you learn is, like, first, I mean, you're like a little kid when someone walks up and is like, "Yo, do you want money?" You're like,
100%.
"Wow, someone believes into me." Like, "Yo, bro, you want to be my dad?"
Go to the website.
But, yeah, so we made the deal with him, and then, you know, it turns out, like, hey...
That was a year ago?
Yeah, that was...
More than that.
No, 2 years ago, right? Yeah. April 2018.
Okay.
So yeah, and then you know, you come to realize like pretty fast that working with someone that's like close to 50, they don't really get it.
Yeah.
Like they totally understand business. They understand the fundamentals. They understand relationships. They understand networking. But like they don't understand Instagram. They
Yeah.
don't understand the 13-year-old running across like that wants to buy sneakers.
Yeah.
And
Totally.
like they just are looking at it from this like whole big business perspective, and like his goal was like, you know, we need to make it as many shoes as possible. We need to appeal to the biggest range of people. Whereas like, dude, we like started this with we were going after like a really small niche and trying to grasp that, and then like learn from there. Whereas he was like, let's just try to take it all on at once.
And like sneaker community in its own is just relentless in
Yeah.
terms of like if you make a change and it's like not cool, like it'll just be a bunch of clown faces, like it's like all the comments or something.
Yeah.
Like this, I mean, like the second you move away from, which is any business, the second you move away from your target audience,
Yeah.
they're gonna go from your lovers to why are you making this change?
Yeah.
What do you do? Like what are you doing?
Damn.
But so he ended up kind of, I would say, like, more so like character development rather than like business development.
Okay.
Like, he definitely 100% helped us grow.
He's awesome.
Like he was an awesome guy, super nice. Like drives a sick BMW and a Jeep, has this nice house in Aventura, Florida. Like
we went out there to Miami, visited him.
No way.
Super
so
cool
it's
guy.
not just
And
somebody.
he introduced us to like 10, 15 people while we're there, and these are like super successful, super cool, super smart people. None of them were just a fit to what we were doing.
None of them could help. But
and we implemented some changes he would recommend, and like we're like, shit, this isn't working.
Yeah,
and we're like, the worst part of it would be like, before it happened, Chris and I would agree, being like, we know this isn't like we're gonna give it a shot. We know it's gonna work based off of us knowing our audience, us knowing what's worked in the past. But like, this is what he's here for. Let's try it out. We try it out, and we're like, what do you know?
So we did that for about 8 months.
Man.
And then we just told him, you know what, man, like this isn't. It's not working out for either of us.
Yeah.
Like you're not making any return, and like you're putting in this time, and we don't feel like our business is getting value. So like, thanks for the 8 months of mentoring. Like we do appreciate it, and it was awesome. But as far as like growing the business, like you're not necessarily helping.
Yeah.
And we would get aggravated in terms of like adding more pieces of the puzzle. It just elongated things. Like if we wanted to act on something, we're like, well, let's wait till Thursday to talk about like if he agrees with it as well, and like if everything compared to like how we normally operate is this a good idea? It's a good idea. Let's run it. Like, let's just compare to like, is this a good idea? All right, let's compare and contrast other ideas. It just wasn't our style either.
Yeah, you have to have somebody that kind of pushes you in one way to know which way to go, right?
Totally.
I mean, and that's such a good point, because like we wouldn't be where we're at without him either.
Yeah,
you
right.
know, like he taught us a ton, and like I think I learned how to talk to like higher up business people in a sense. Like he would put me on the phone with a CEO of a $30-40 million company,
right?
And like, you can't sound like an idiot. And so, like, you know, the first couple times you do, and and
it's good to get that over with.
But it's good to get it over with this early,
That's
so
good.
that like, you know, now it's like it doesn't matter who I'm talking to. You're almost talking peer to peer at the same. Like if you are able to hold a conversation, you're on the phone, so they don't really know like who you are, what you're doing.
Right.
It is peer to peer.
Was there a moment when you guys either might have been Chris before you came into the picture where you were like, all right, this is real. I can make money out of this. This is what I want to do. Because you were a fucking math major in college, right?
Yeah.
And then you came straight here, and, you know, the whole day Seuss happened. And
I mean, when we graduated college, I went straight into doing custom shoes with Dylan DeJesus.
Right.
And I learned so much from him, even just like about shoes, about Instagram, about just like this whole culture out there.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of like early with working with him, I realized that like, the more people you DM to ask if they want to buy shoes, the better your numbers
Shoot or
become.
shoot, baby.
And
I like that.
And you know, like we first met up, and he was like, "Yeah, I do like cleats for maybe like 10 to 12 athletes. I want to say." Like,
did you go to your high school? How'd you know him?
So my dad's best friend is his uncle, so it's like a random.
Dad's best friend is his uncle.
A random graduation party.
And his aunt knows your dog, right? Your dog's your friend. So that's how we met, like through family, and so awesome.
He was doing 10 or 12 NFL guys. So I came on and I was like, dude, I'll sit here, I'll send 100 messages a day, like I don't care.
Yeah.
And so I'm messaging probably like 10,000 athletes.
You're relentless.
And like you just don't stop. At the end of the day, like these guys aren't gonna answer your first one. You send them cool pictures, and like they might not answer till your 8th picture because that cleat has like a Gucci sign on it and it gets their eye.
And this was on Instagram?
And this is all on Instagram.
Hand, because you have to do it by hand.
Yeah, and when you try copying and pasting, and Instagram knows you can only send 10 messages that are copy and pasted, and then you get blocked from messaging for like, I don't know if it's 24 hours or whatever. So you have to go through and change like the words in the middle and shit and work it all out. But I mean, you do that for so long, and then like when I left Dylan and like we took a step back, I was like, dude, we painted shoes for like over 300 athletes. And you're like, these are all people...
Professional athletes,
Yeah, professional
right?
athletes.
Yeah, it's incredible.
And these aren't guys that are buying one pair of cleats.
Yeah.
One pair of cleats. Like, we had guys like Eric Ebron who would buy 2 pairs of cleats a game.
Go Colts.
So, you know, he's spending a ton. We were doing Devontae Adams that would buy, 10 to 12 pairs a season.
It's crazy.
And, like, these guys don't disappear. They come back the next season. So,
Right.
like, you start to learn about reoccurring income. And you're like, wow, the more you add to this pile, the more that comes in.
They're posting about it. They're flaunting it.
But so that's where I learned kind of like the economies of scale on Instagram.
Yeah.
And it just happened that what I was selling was hard to scale. It's hand-painted artwork. So it just takes time, and there's only one Dylan, and you can't pump out enough shoes to really create this mass scale.
Yeah.
And that's where, like, I talked to him about the idea of creating these sticker kits for Nikes.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, he loved the idea, and we talked about it for a couple weeks. And finally, when it kind of came down to it, he was like, you know what, man, this goes against everything I stand for. I was like, well...
Basically monetizing it?
Yeah, it's like...
Yeah.
He's
It's
like,
not
well,
art.
He's
You're
like, it's not
taking
art.
a shoe, you're not showing
Yeah.
It won't be unique anymore.
Yeah, he's like, this
Right.
isn't hand-painted, this isn't what I do. And I was like, I can't argue with him. Like, you're right.
Yeah.
Like, you're
Yeah,
100% right.
absolutely.
The business is your name. Like, I got nothing. And then a couple weeks later, Evan came up, and Evan was like, yo, dude, I got these Ultra Boosts, and everyone on Reddit has been, like, putting electrical tape on the stripes.
It was, let's see, oh no, we don't have
this shit.
the Oreos. But like these, so they're called the Oreos, but they're black and white with like kind of a zebra-ish knit to it.
Yeah. I know what
And
you're
they
talking
have,
about,
like,
yeah.
They have a
clearish, like...
awful looking
ugly-
clear cage.
Yeah.
It looks just brutal. It kind of yellows with time. So what a lot of people were doing was to get around that, taking electrical tape, putting it on, and then taking a scalpel to it and cutting it like to precision.
Yeah.
And you saw that on Reddit.
So on
Yeah.
Reddit. on
Reddit's a
sneaker
crazy
subreddit.
social, like, that's a
Nuts.
crazy...
Savages on there,
And people
yes.
don't, like, a lot of people don't understand the power of Reddit, which is kind of great.
If you get on the
But
good
if
side
you-
of a group, you're
Yeah,
fucking
they just
in it.
pump.
You're pumped.
Like, we'll get a post on Reddit, and literally, within 5 minutes, 200 people are on the site.
and it's
Like,
all our
and
traffic
we're
for
like,
the days
what is happening? Like, what just happened? And it's all from Reddit.
But the second like a group hates you, it's just you're screwed.
Yeah, if they find out that
Jesus.
if they find out that you're, like, feeding these posts in, like, you just straight down votes, and then everyone's like, will comment, like, fuck you guys.
Corporate
like,
ass, like-
corporate ass bitches, like,
This is Big Stripes doing this.
yeah, like, stupid shit, man.
Are you serious?
Nah, I don't say that, but
Yeah, they're
they
thinking
trash
of,
it.
Yeah,
They trash it.
yeah.
So that's where Evan saw it, and I was like, we were already talking with Dylan about this whole idea of doing Nike swooshes, and I was like, well, we got the machines, like, I know how to do this, like, let's do it.
And we had talked about, like, he explained, just like that's like the light bulb moment when he's explaining. I mean, Dylan is so talented. He's, like, by far the best artist I know. And, like, I'd go in, he's just sitting there, I told you before, he's sitting there with just that toothpick.
Yeah.
He's sitting there doing stuff. I'm looking at Chris, I'm like, how do you do more than that? He's got a toothpick in his hand.
Yeah.
And Chris is over there, he's doing, like, a base layer of white. I'm like, this
Yeah,
is...
I'm just painting
insane.
white on shoes.
It's a sweatshop.
Like,
man.
this
Yeah.
is insane. So that, like, right when it clicked that, like, we're talking about how we could do it, we're looking at that machine, we hit print, and this thing's just... We're like, that's...
We were like,
fucking it.
okay, that could scale.
That's it.
And
Right.
and so we were, I think it was probably May or June we were talking about it, and then someone comes out in Germany, and it's called Stripes or whatever. So like Stride and then Hype, and
this is, we're in the stages of
we're in the
meeting
stages-
at his apartment with vinyl in our hand, going through, picking out the colors we want. Like, we're at this final stages of, here's what the website's going to look like. It was the development stage. It wasn't just like an idea at this point. It was websites about like, we just need to put
You guys are
product photos
partnered,
up.
yeah.
Like, it was ready to go, ready to launch.
Yeah.
These guys came out of nowhere.
and they came out of nowhere and launched it, and we're like, holy fuck, like, can we still do it?
Good looking website based out of
yeah.
Germany. Like, it was all
And
solid.
they had maybe like eight different colors on there, or 6 options, and so we're like, you know what, like, let's come out with 30
Blast
options,
them.
and
Yeah.
let's just blast them, and actually, and like, literally, I think it took. When did they say they were closed? 12 months, I think, and then they announced that they were done doing it. That like they just didn't want to continue doing business and whatnot, and just basically didn't get any traction.
Did you ever talk to them directly?
So
They kept blocking us.
they kept blocking us.
blocking us. We were friendly. We never did anything.
But,
Yeah.
In their eyes, though, can you
well-
imagine if you create the business, then a month later,
Well, what
this other one
happened
comes out?
was,
They're like,
Some-
what happened was like I
Some
saw
nice
them
Chicago
doing
guys.
it, and we had no idea what material to use.
Mhm.
Like we're still out here just using the same shit that we use for stencils on shoes.
Right.
And I was like, well, maybe they have it figured out.
Right.
And so I ordered 4 sets from their website, all of their sizes. And you know, the kid emails me and he's like, hey, did you mean to order all of these sizes? Like, you know, why do you need every size? And I was like, I got a lot of friends. And and he sends all the sizes.
Got a lot of friends.
Sends all the sizes, and you know, and then like we come out.
It was a funky material.
Yeah.
It was like nothing we were using. It was completely different. It was a few millimeters thicker, and it was like one of your questions was, can you stick it back on?
Yeah.
It had an adhesive where it was you could kind of pull it off, put it back on. So like short term wise, it's not going to get that nice of a stick in terms of like adhering perfectly, looking great. It kind of has like that bulky look.
Right.
But it was cool that you could put it on, take it off, put it on the paper.
But yeah, so then like after he blocked us, you know, right after that came out, and he actually blocked my personal Instagram as well, so he figured out who I was.
Jesus.
But I
That's
guess
crazy.
like the main question was, when did we realize that there was like it could be something?
Yeah. Because this was your entrepreneurship. You have a day job, so you guys basically. I mean, do you remember a specific moment you're like, let's fucking rock?
I think the first few weeks of
right
launched
away,
it,
man. It was wild how
So-
fast it happened. It was crazy.
It was crazy. Some of our best, like, growth-wise was, like, the first few weeks, it was, like, we were getting orders. We were getting over $100 a day from, like, the first few days was over $100 a day, which when you're starting a business, like, it's hard to sell one product.
One thing,
And, like, we started off, 4 or 5 first was, like, friends, people in Chicago. It was, like, a lot of Jason's friends who, the photographer at the time was working part-time at Adidas, or he knew a ton of people working at the Adidas stores as well, and they bought into the idea right away.
Hell yeah.
But, like, I think right when we got started, it was, like, here's a concept, proof of concept, we built it, all these things, and then, like, these fucking orders just started chopping in.
And it started as soon as influencers started saying yes, it was game over. Because, like, out of the top 50 sneaker photographers, 40 of them were posting boosted stripes.
What?
Like, it was, I mean...
We got into the group.
I don't think I've seen, like... And the craziest part was, like, they were all just, like, they wanted to work with it because it was, like, a new, unique product.
Yeah.
That's
like,
going along with campaigns and
It's good for their brand. Yeah.
Win-win all around.
Yeah, so I've never really seen an influencer like pick up on a product like that and like thoroughly enjoy it themselves.
Right.
So it like got to the point where these guys are like messaging and saying, yo, could I get this color, this color, this color? I want to put them on this shoe, that shoe. And it was no longer was like, yo, will you take some pictures for us? And it was like them driving it.
And the cool thing about
awesome.
like that creativity aspect is like when you look around at like a lot of these pictures around here.
That one's
like,
so dope.
So you get like there's going out there like, okay, we have camo shots. Let's go out into the wilderness. Let's see that contrast between like the green and blue. Like it adds on the creativity of now like this is a canvas. Now we have these stripes. Let's think about like how we want to shoot. It's not just the same picture every time. Just a new element to kind of play with.
Looks like an Adidas ad, dude.
And like half these guys have like 15, 25,000 followers.
Yeah.
And we've got like 300. And so, like, the fact that they're willing to do this, we're, like, all on our high horse and just all pumped up.
So you're getting natural growth.
Yeah.
How many followers are you guys at now?
32.5 thousand, something like that.
It's amazing.
Yeah, pretty wild. You don't realize, like, when you take a step back and you look, you're like, when did that last 10K come in?
I know.
Yeah.
You asked before also, we drifted off big time from...
That's okay. That's how it usually goes.
But it's an interesting... how our marketing's kind of changed. So we did start off, Chris was going ham, and you still had, like, that... crazy from going to athletes, just insane at messaging people, contacting people, and we got in those kind of circles for brand ambassadors, essentially, that just these ambassadors that push the product, which right away people think it's dope, people think it's cool, they're seeing on the Explore page.
Yep.
And in terms of like how well marketing advertisement works, that was just I think the best. It's just people. It was organic. It wasn't pushed. It was just everywhere. People then wanted to make their shoes like that. It was just a beautiful thing. And what we ran into.
To put a timeline to that, so we started July 2017.
Yeah.
And then we ran with the influencer marketing until March of 2018. March or April, I forget the month. But Nike released a collaboration with Virgil Abloh on Off-White. Yeah. And they did the 10-pack. And it destroyed Adidas.
And Adidas wasn't doing anything with any design. They weren't keeping up.
Influencer.
I remember that.
Every influencer that was posting Ultra Boost went straight into posting this 10-pack and the Nike Off-Whites. No longer was any influencer posting these shoes, and we were like, oh my god.
So these are shoe influencers?
Yeah, these are all sneakers,
right.
sneakerheads in a sense. So.
And when you reach out to them now, and we're buddies with them, and like, yo, can you just like, we have more. Here's more stuff. If you want more stuff, here's laces, whatever they want. They're like, no, we're shooting like.
Yeah, we don't wear those anymore, or we
Literally
sold them all,
those.
and we're like, fuck, like what are we gonna do?
And that's the beauty, but the hard part about it is. The beauty is they want your product, and that's why it sells well, is because you could tell in their posts a genuine affection for the product.
Right.
It doesn't feel forced. You could see it in their shot. You could see them talking about it in their stories.
Yeah.
It's genuine. If you're now going up to someone and going, and this is kind of where the model started to switch, is we ran with it for so long, and it was free. It was costing us, we were just talking about the cost for shipping out before. It was low cost, zero low cost.
Some of these guys we paid a little bit, but for the most part it was so early that like they were just happy to work with us, and like
the question of money never even came up. Yeah.
And then it changed.
And then like a few of them, like we had a couple of photographers that were in I think like Philadelphia area, and there's two of them, and they're friends. So like when I sent their package, like I looked up like restaurants in downtown Philadelphia and sent them a gift card to go out to eat together. And so, like...
to Sneaker Con, we gave them
we got them passes to the sneaker conventions to get them in for free. So, we did what we could to, like, kind of acknowledge that they're people and that we're people, too. Like, that it's
we're not just taking advantage. Like,
it's not a one-way relationship.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Totally. It's a business partnership.
Totally.
And so then it started changing once the shoe... And that's what's hard about our product is it's tied to... Product is only as cool as the shoe it's on. So like if the shoe starts losing, Adidas goes in the shitter or just like shit. And that's what you kind of touched on.
Imagine making phone cases for iPhones and then Android comes into the market and no one has iPhones anymore. Like what do you do as an iPhone case company?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a really, really good comparison.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to start paying more so influencers or just giving a little more of a push to them to say, a little incentive for them, thank you. To use our product, which then you still see success, but you see less of the genuineness that you saw when it was organic. Mm-hmm. And obviously, you now have that marketing budget going towards the paid ads. And then we started, so timeline of that was probably, what'd you say for...
So it ended like March 2018?
Probably did that for 3-4 months, and then we're like, okay, we need to start paying for Facebook ads.
Yeah.
And also kind of dig into YouTube a bit.
So, and then like... One thing that we realized was like, okay, we got all these influencers to post this product, and like what we didn't take with it right away was all of these kids that shoot like their shoes and are trying to become these influencers look up to these guys. And they want to be just like these guys. Mm-hmm. But these guys are no longer shooting our product. So then we decided, hey, let's open the floodgates. Let's create an ambassador program. So now all of these kids that wanted to be like these photographers are like, now's my chance. I can be a boosted ambassador.
That's awesome.
And
got shirts in
we got month one. I think we had 200 people join, and then like the next month was another 400, and I think like now we have like 12 or 1300.
That's incredible.
Ambassadors.
And like, they get perks. We're active on it's a little secret Facebook page that you get invited to once you fill out the form. Mm-hmm. We go through the forms, pick out the ambassadors, they get access, and it's like us shooting the shit with these guys. It's like
that's awesome.
They give us ideas for a website, we talk about it. They give us like a new product shot, everyone's got each other's back. It's just like it's a sweet way to interact with your
community.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it was definitely more so like it's now more so a community versus last time where it was like influencers and it looked kind of like this untouchable, like I'm not good enough to have it in a sense.
Of course.
Into wow, these guys like care about us too.
Yeah.
And they want to work with us. Totally. So that pulled in a ton of momentum, and then we went into YouTube.
Which we kind of touched on before of how people take things in. YouTube, when we first started it, was awesome. Like, it works so damn well. We had a YouTuber called Hess Kicks come in, created a video just kind of showing off our product.
Yeah.
We were so heavy on Instagram. Like, it was just Instagram up to that point.
Right.
I mean, Facebook, obviously we pushed to Facebook, but traffic-wise, almost all Instagram.
All the eggs were basically in one basket.
100%.
Yeah.
So now utilizing this YouTube platform, no one had really seen the product on YouTube. Mm-hmm. So when we now had an influencer show off the product, it blew up in terms of traffic, sales from even that one video at first.
Yeah, and like these guys aren't cheap. Like, and you have no idea what's gonna happen with these. with these YouTubers. I messaged a ton of them before I started getting responses, and then you'll get responses like, yeah, we want $5,000 for a video, we want $10,000 for a video, we want $2,500. I'm like, dude, I sell a $15 product. Do you know how many of these fucking things I got to sell to recoup $10,000? Like, do you really think you can sell that many units? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Right. These guys are like, these YouTubers are getting this. They're getting this amount of money from other people.
So it's like, but these other people aren't selling $15 stickers. No. Like, they're selling these like high margin products. Well, we have a high margin product, but they're selling like, you know, $200 sneaker bags.
Right.
And like, so they only need, you know, 15, 20 sales, and they covered their cost. Whereas like, we need to sell 800 units to cover 10,000.
And it's hit or miss. Sometimes a YouTuber will have 500,000 and they'll put a video out and it gets 2.2K, and then they'll do another one and it gets 1.5. It's
like one example was so we're working with one YouTuber that had about 500,000 subscribers, and he's from California. And he gets a ton of views on his videos. And then we had another YouTuber that was probably like 19,000 subscribers or 20,000 subscribers. And that one that had 20,000 subscribers hadn't made a video in like 3 months. Wasn't super active.
Older dude.
And they both pretty much released their videos at the same time. And the guy that had 500,000 followers maybe did $100 in sales. If that. The guy that had like 20,000 subscribers brought in sales for probably consistently 6 months.
I was going to say 6 months.
Like 6 months.
What?
Yeah, like thousands of dollars.
Why do you think that was?
It's so crazy. It's the way people, and it's the way you're following. Like how much your following like believes in what you're saying and your content. And like, why are they there? Are they there for pure entertainment? Are they there because they like you? There's a number of reasons.
Yeah, that's like what I was talking about. Like if I'm like some DJ who has like 1 million plays on some song, and it's just some song, and I play in Chicago, 20 people come. It's like, what is the line there between people actually going out of their way, spending money to go to this extent, right?
Totally.
That's crazy. That's the fucking world we're living in, man.
Yeah. There's a lot of variables, too, with, like, YouTubers in terms of, at the end of the day, what we're not asking them to do, but in layman's terms is we want you to be a salesman, essentially, for a product. Is at the end of the day, we want it to be organic, but we want to sell. That's our end objective, is we want your people, the people that look up to you, to see our product, and we want them to be so enticed to end up purchasing.
Right.
And I just think like that the big guy didn't sell it well. He didn't sell it well. He did like there wasn't heart in it. It was just like it just felt like he was doing a product video. It just felt like sponsored-ish video compared to the other guy. Chico's Kicks 3 months off. It's like you see like excitement of him coming back into it. When he does like the walkthrough at the end, he's like showing off the kicks. It's like, this is sick. Like you put time, thought this through. You knew what stripes you'd match in your shoes. Like you just tell him how he built the video.
Yeah,
that's special. You need people like that.
Totally. And I think YouTube probably we don't do as much on YouTube anymore. We're still working with a couple of the guys, but it's just
pricey.
It's pricey and it's difficult.
And it's hit or miss, like we said.
Like it's a risk.
It's gotta be frustrating
because like there's no like contract that says you're gonna say X, Y, and Z and you're gonna do X, Y, and Z. Like
they've got this following because of who they are.
They're gonna do what they want to do.
Oh man, you need somebody who's really fucking good at faking.
Yeah, and so that
preferably
loves the product, but like that guy clearly didn't put anything into it. It sounded like he got a little cocky almost, like took the money and run, so to speak. But
and that's not Has Kicks, to clarify. That is a totally different.
No, Has Kicks seems like he was.
He's awesome. But then I think after, like, by no means did we exhaust YouTube, but we were just trying, like, some of the people weren't answering anymore, and like, just trying to work out a consistent pattern of people posting was pretty difficult. Totally. And so that's when we moved into paid advertising through Facebook and Instagram.
And how'd that work out comparatively?
Kind of where we're at now. So it started decently. So we started out building it in terms of building. I mean, it was our first time. It's us sitting here, and it's like we don't know.
Yeah, what do you do?
We're like,
which button do you press?
What is this platform?
Yeah, I've never seen this thing in my life.
Like, how do you build an audience? What does an audience even matter? Can you even retarget on this thing?
Yeah.
So we're sitting here, we're just playing with it, and our biggest scare is like we don't want to put too much money in because it's one of those things where it's like your money will drain if you're not careful with it, and we don't even know what the hell we're doing. So Are we setting budgets? Are we just saying we want to put $200 for a campaign? What's the difference in all that?
Yeah.
So it's a big learning curve at first.
Yeah.
And I think after a few months, I mean, we were always over. Our rate of return was always over 1. Like, we were always sitting around like 1.8 to 1.3 rate of return. Our issue was scaling it.
Yeah.
So we were good. We were really good at being able to create a small audience, a niche audience.
Yep.
Grind into it
Right.
and get them into a little funnel system that would then say, okay, we took this one person of a random audience and they engaged with our Instagram post.
Yep.
So now let's put them in another little funnel that they're going to be served a completely different ad on the basis that they're a little bit warmer, they're more qualified. So now our objective with this is to get them to click on a product. So we have someone that completely random now went to our website. Now we're trying to push them just to view the product.
Yeah.
Give them to view the product, and now it's add to cart and let's give them to purchase. So we built a funnel like that, which is very costly on the end stage of it.
Yeah.
It's not this little see it for the first time and purchase. It's customers. We're paying for a customer. It's level 1. Paying for a customer here. Paying for a customer here. Paying for a customer here. Then they're purchasing. And what happens is once you're trying to take that first kind of funnel of people who've never seen the product before, and let's throw $100 in that a day.
Yeah.
It starts to get an unqualified audience.
Right.
And now you're paying for it at funnel 2, funnel 3, funnel 4, funnel 5.
Yeah.
So now you're paying for it 5-fold, and then you start losing money right away unless that level 1's extremely qualified. So we were struggling in being able to scale, essentially. We were able to do it at a small kind of $30 to $40 a day. When we wanted to start doing like hundreds of dollars a day, once money was starting there, getting that qualified level 1 audience has been a challenge.
Yeah.
So we brought on
So we met a guy named Philip through Facebook. He had reached out, and he lives in Sweden, and he's I think probably like 22, 23. Said that he did Facebook ads and was interested in like learning about our business and if we wanted to work together. So
he reached out to you.
Yeah. So I got on the phone, and it turns out that he like was studying video games or like video game programming in college, and just dropped out to do Facebook advertising and marketing, and so
it's crazy. He's crazy. He's got a bunch of clients. This kid's
he knows his stuff. He does well for himself. It's been up and down with him. I think that it's just it's a difficult task to do.
Yeah, of course.
And if it was easy, everyone would be winning. But
I think his struggle was similar to what we saw with our first. Kind of our advisor is at the end of the day, Chris and I know our audience the best. We know how to sell to them the best. That we bring someone in who's doing consulting, someone that's selling just software services, someone that's just a bunch of different things. What works for these other companies, whether it's e-commerce, whether it's services, software, whatever it is, software as a service. It doesn't necessarily work with a product that goes on a few types of shoes. This isn't that. It's not shoe. We do sell shoelaces, but it's not a product that goes on every type of thing. It's not a shirt that anyone could get, and then you're just trying to find a person that would wear that shirt.
Right.
You're finding that type of person that now owns these specific types of shoes.
Right.
And now wants to customize them. It's a very small kind of audience to find, and then the way you target them, the way to sell to them is the copyright you use, how you're talking to these guys.
Yeah.
And like we said before, people are relentless. If you're serving them an ad that you get the price of a shoe wrong, or you're just talking to them in a funny way, you're going to get roasted out.
Damn.
Our comment section on our ads are probably like the funniest. Like there's a couple of them that have like 200 comments long because I'll just go at kids. Like they'll talk shit in the comments and like think that like nobody's there. So like, I'm going to come back and I'm going to say something back to you.
Yeah.
And then like, these just start to build up, and like there's a couple of them where people will be like why would anybody buy this cheap sticker to make their like shoe look like that or some shit,
I hate
like,
click on
they are, profile. You click on the profile, it's like some 40-year-old dad. Like, what are you doing? And
it's always some 40-year-old
look
dad.
At that, and I'm like, oh, actually, our clients are typically people like your son in your photo, and a lot of times their dad purchases the product so that they have a nice father-son activity to do to I'm not sure if you had that in your household, or if you guys used to yell at the TV at ads that came up. And dude, you watch it. And now my comments got 35 likes, and all these people are commenting clown under mine for this guy, and it's like it makes it fun. So
I love Facebook, but hate Facebook in terms of like with Instagram, you're talking to someone, You usually don't see what they look like. You usually don't see what they look like. Email, you have no clue who they are.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you'll get someone complain to you on Facebook about a product that they messed up.
Yep.
And then you see a picture of this, like, 50-year-old guy that's just like, you're like, dude. Like,
chill.
What are you yelling at us
We know
about?
you got problems in your life,
Like,
man.
yelling at it. Not even like a nice customer email, just, like, roasting us. And we're like, what happened to you today?
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind it. I think it's funny at this point. But, like, yeah, we get roasted nonstop. Like,
He deals
well, I
with
know
all
you guys will dish it right back. Yeah.
I do all the emails. And, like, I don't, so...
When I had a few mental moves.
Yeah, like growing up, like I worked at Nordstrom's in retail, and like I'm not sure if you're familiar, but
prissy bitches coming
Nordstrom's, the customer is always right. Like, there is no question about it. Like I worked at Nordstrom's, someone would come in, buy a pair of jeans before January 1st, wear the jeans, bring them back, they'd smell like cigarette smoke, and say I want to return them, and you're like, okay, and you just give them your money back. And like,
that's how you're trained.
Yeah, like that's what you do. Like you have to do that. And so like I've just always kind of like lived with that, but at the same time like taking away from that is like I don't ever want to feel taken advantage of. Like we're working our asses off and like we're putting everything we have into something and we really care about it. To have someone come and just like step on it like it's nothing, like I don't want that. So like I make it a point like when I'm responding to emails to not send one sentence back, to explain who we are, to explain that there's a person behind this and that they're acting out of line most of the time.
You're good at making people realize and it's usually those people are people that are being overly aggressive for no reason. And I'd say 99.999% of the time, the communication ends with them thanking you.
Yeah,
just being like, being like, thanks so much, like you.
Yeah,
right.
I think I've had one bad email thread in the full 2 years. Like I've had a lot of bad emails, but they've all turned into thank yous. But yeah, it's only one or two that didn't turn out well.
Customer service.
You gotta thank Nordstrom's for that.
Because a lot of people think when they buy like an Instagram ad, you click on it, just from my personal experience, and you guys too, click on it, oh, well, this is so incredibly specific to what I was talking about maybe, or what I actually like,
it's eerie.
And then like you go through all the steps and you're like, well, I don't know, what the fuck actually even is this, And then to have that real human touch.
Totally.
I mean, again, it's the dive bar thing. People want to know what's actually behind the fucking door there.
There's so many drop shippers out there, people selling products that they're getting for cheap and just pushing that shipping takes 3-4 weeks or whatever, that they don't care. They're just trying to push as many products as possible.
Right.
That's so against since day one how we've been.
Yeah, we've always just like we care.
We want you guys to like us.
I mean, we'd love for the money to follow, but at the end of the day, like this is a huge learning experience for us.
Yeah.
And we're lucky that, we're able to monetize it and that we're able to move forward every day.
Mm-hmm. What's your guys' roles like in the company? Like what's your job? What's your day-to-day, that type of stuff?
So I guess it obviously changes every day because
it sounds like it.
There's
seriously like overtime.
It's us too, and it's like everything switches.
We don't have much time at all.
Yeah.
So
right now I would say like
I'm sure you guys
I think so. Right before we started. How's the YouTube stuff going? Well,
it's gonna start tomorrow. So right now what I've been working on is like e-commerce is, I don't know what the best way to like describe it, but it's like a giant math formula in a sense. Like there's all of these little factors that people like don't understand, like that goes into a website or into different things that happen. So like when you're served a pop-up on a website and you enter your email, like you were targeted on a certain page or you're on their welcome page.
Right.
And then once you sign up for that welcome page, you're hit with an email or you're another pop-up, you're hit with an email, and you create these systems. Mm-hmm. And so, like, we've been working on using these different softwares to create, like, welcome. So one of the things when you go to a website, there's a spin wheel. So there's different options on what you can win.
Yeah. And
you enter your email. And, like, right now we have, like a 30% conversion on that. So out of the people that come to our website, like, 30% of the people are giving us their email and signing up for this wheel. And so then you break that down and you're like, wait a second, I get 30% open rates on my emails and 5% will convert.
And our average
order is this, and you just learn this is a numbers game. Like the more people you funnel into the spin wheel, the more people I'm going to hit on the back end with these emails.
Yeah.
So should we stop targeting to purchases? Should we go more to pushing people to just the spin wheel that will then convert them at this?
So my whole focus has just been like figuring out these flows and these different systems that happen. So like the different stages that they'll happen at our website. Like when you sign up for a welcome series, there's a flow that goes, I think, for about a week. That's 4 emails. And then if you're on if you click 3 different product pages, you'll be served another flyout or pop-up that says buy 2, get 1 free. Or if you're in your cart page and you go to hit the X, you'll be served another pop-up that says do you want free shipping? And then people enter their emails in these different stages, and then they're sent these email flows. So we have these different systems that then all circle around.
Where are you aggregating all that data? Like, how are you reviewing that?
The softwares have pretty good databases to hold it. So our email system, we use this software Klaviyo for email, and it's you have this whole dashboard, and you have pie charts of all your different campaigns, and then a campaign would be a not necessarily a one-off thing, but it would last maybe a day, maybe a week, maybe 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Breast cancer awareness in October is going to be a big campaign for us.
Right.
Whereas flows are automatic things that just have certain triggers on your website. Mm-hmm. So we have probably about 12 different flows that happen. The welcome series, the abandoned cart. We have different ones for internationals.
Clickouts.
We have exit intent ones.
It's incredible.
Certain upsells.
We always say if we had our website built, and I guess this is with everything in life, you go as you learn as you go.
Yeah.
If we would have this knowledge that we have at this point in our business when we first started with that crazy organic growth where we didn't have to pay for shit. It was just people are coming to our website and they want to buy it. If we had this efficient website that's capturing people and just converting in a more efficient basis, it would have been game over.
I mean, that clicking the X shit with the free shipping.
Yeah.
I'm the type of guy who's going to go, free.
Yeah.
Totally.
It's wild. You start seeing and you're just it took me probably about a month to figure out all these different points and where they should go. But now you sit back and you kind of watch the data and you're like, damn, I didn't do anything, and there's this flow's getting a couple $100 a week, and you're just wow, these things all work, and it's all then you're doing now is you're finding the right traffic to pay and send the traffic to your site.
Damn.
Because you know that they're going to get sucked into these cycles
Build
and
a
that
machine.
you're going to sell them at one of those points.
And that's what you hope for, is you hope to build this machine that converts, that you have to do, especially with just 2 of us and full-time doing this all day, is you need some parts of this to be working on its own and to be efficient on its own.
Dude, you have to automate.
Time's the hardest, time's our resource we have the least amount of. It's just, and that's what you should. Chris is also all day, we have all these orders coming in. He's all day, you're cutting these stripes up, you're packing the things, you have all operations. And
literally fulfilling fucking orders, dude.
Exactly.
Yeah, we've worked with, not again. We've worked with a few fulfillment centers, and if you're not familiar, a lot of companies use them. A fulfillment center is a massive warehouse that holds thousands of products that's on this grid system, and they have little forklifts and shit that go around, and an order will come in. An order will come in, they'll drive up, they'll go to your pallet, they'll bring it down, they'll pack your order, and they'll send it. So we'll never touch it. It just, all of our stuff gets sent to the warehouse, they process the orders, they send it out.
Is that in Chicago?
Well, we were working with one that was in South Side, but it was still Chicago.
Yeah.
And then more recently we're working with one that is based out of Florida. They all have warehouses all over the world. Mm-hmm. But it's a disaster. It is the biggest headache in the world. To outsource your fulfillment and trust somebody else to do it right is the worst move in the world.
It's the best thing on paper ever. You sit here and you can get rid of all of this and just focus on building the business.
Yeah.
Get rid of all the labor aspect of it.
Yeah.
And then it's the 10 times bigger headache.
Right. The first.
I felt your pain right there with that. Yeah.
You got to hear this. So the first fulfillment center that we worked with, so they run all of your products through this scanning system, and the scanning system measures the depth, the width, the height, and it's supposed to come up with the perfect package for your item. Okay. and so everything's all great, all computer automated. Well, if your machine's fucked up that's scanning all the products, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
And so these guys are just. I don't know what happened because I wasn't there, but I would look at our shipments and it would be a pair of laces went out. It weighed 14 ounces and was in a 12 by 12 box. We're like, I'm like, dude, the guy that packed this was like, yo, let me throw this in this big ass box.
And he went through and did it. That's the thing, didn't question it.
You know, the difference is paying $7 in shipping or paying $24 in shipping.
Jesus.
And so like we're going through this shit. I'm like, dude, this doesn't add up. Like something's going wrong.
How long did you even do that for?
3 months. And like we
more mistakes than wins.
Yeah, I basically figured it out, and then like where all of these points were. That I figured out they were using the wrong package. That's what I figured out. Was that all this shit was? They sent me like a big Excel sheet of all of the orders that went out and their weights and all the dimensions. And it was easy to see like, okay, those dimensions are not right. And I think the sample set they sent me was 60 orders, and 49 of them were wrong. And we were like, oh my god! So they ended up they went through everything and like reimbursed all of the overspend and whatnot.
And they're not dealing with those emails of customers being like,
what the hell is this thing?
And that's a bad look for us. Like,
that's
just bad all around.
But that's what fulfillment's like. How great it is.
God,
it sounds so.
They trick you. They trick you.
As much as you can. Are you perfect when it's hand done? Yeah,
for the most part, I would say. Yeah, I haven't got... Most of the time, the customer is the one that orders the wrong thing.
Oh.
Like, sometimes the customer will order, like, rope laces, which are round instead of flat laces.
Yeah.
Or sometimes, like, the customer will order the wrong size stripes.
Right. We have a good amount of international presence, too. Yeah. So a lot of it's also a language barrier.
Yeah, where people will mess up because they just didn't necessarily understand.
Did you guys do it? Or go ahead, Evan.
Really quickly, just on... I feel like we were talking our product up so much before in terms of cheapish to do. Tiny, it's not going to get hurt in the mail.
Yeah.
Our main issue is, and you see when you look over there, is that's a lot of SKUs. We have a lot of different colors, and not just that, all these colors are coming in different sizes, and now we have different shoes we're doing it on.
Right.
So for a fulfillment center, it's easy. If you have a product that's like, we were talking about the boosted board earlier, I'm just going to use it. They only have 2, now 3 with a scooter.
Yeah, 3 models.
3 models. So when you're at a store and it's like, okay, this guy ordered this, you're picking out of 3, one of them up. We have all these bins that these guys are coming up and a few hundred SKUs, and they're just like, there's a lot more margin for error compared to
for sure.
It makes a lot more sense for a bigger, bulkier, less SKUs, less variation product.
Yeah, fuck. How much like research did you guys do in the beginning stages, or even still now, on? You said it has to be people who wear Adidas, and it has to be people that wear fucking Boosts. How much research did you do on an international scale, and even like locally, where it's people who wear Adidas? I mean, I feel like you probably had to concentrate that market like we were talking about in the beginning. What was that process like for you guys?
Mainly, I feel like in terms of marketing towards them.
Yeah, like geographics almost. Like you said, there's a huge following. Like, where's Adidas headquarters?
Portland.
Portland. So there's probably a lot of people who
there's
like
it. Well, I would say, like, honestly, it sounds a lot tougher than it is because Instagram made it easy.
I was just going to say that.
Like, so, I mean, influencers were definitely a thing, like, when we started. Like, that was for sure established. But, like, kind of the cost of influencers and, like, who was the right influencer for your brand was like more up in the air. So brands were like kind of timid to work with different people.
Right.
And like one of the most like scariest things for a brand was like, yo, should we pay an international influencer to post a product that we sell in the US? And then can we beat customs? Can we ship it to them in time? Like, are we gonna have any problems? And so we looked at it and we're like, fuck it, dude. This guy has 100,000 followers, 200,000 followers. He wants $500 a month. Like, pay him the money and let him post every day.
Yeah.
And then the next thing you know, like 50% of our orders are international because these guys they have these massive Instagram accounts in Europe and nobody trusts them to advertise.
So you started at the top and kind of went like, okay, this guy, he's into shoes, and then you got data from that, and then you just started kind of funneling out
so
through.
Then we had our own data of when you go on Google Ads or you look inside your actual demographics of data. Mm-hmm. And I think from the very beginning, we always know our general audience, but then I think when we look at the data, we're like, whoa, there's some older people buying. There's a lot of older, like, I thought it was going to be way younger, then you're like, oh, 20 to 30 is ordering a lot, and we have 30 to 40s, it's still a decent-sized chunk. So I think you're still surprised by things you see, but that's a really good point in terms of how it kind of started. It's almost similar to how people do television or just taking, like, okay, I want to advertise during this show because I know this show, person doing this content, it's going to fit into their kind of target audience. It's us going on to Instagram saying, we know people going on every day and seeing this guy's content is going to enjoy what.
Yeah, and you could always have them like screenshot their insights so you could see like the percentage of male versus female, the age groups that follow them, the regions, the cities.
How's the female sales?
We don't advertise to them. It's just like
we should.
We probably should. They buy, but
we're gonna start. We're kind of revamping our paid. We're gonna be revamping our paid marketing shortly. We've just been posting. That's what's hard is like when you get to a paid advertisement, it's like efficiency matters so much that when you see campaigns that aren't performing as well as other ones, you're like, okay, screw this. I'm gonna dump all my money into the winner. So we've dumped all our money into men, and because of that, we're seeing heavy.
All men.
All men.
I mean, I will say, I guess from my perspective, it's kind of hard to say, but when it's like, if you're just doing Nike versus Adidas, right? Those are the two biggest shoe brands in the world. I feel like girls wear Adi Boosts more than they're going to wear customized Jordans.
True.
I don't know
based
if that...
on demographic,
so
yes.
the part that I would say...
I'm basing it on lifestyle.
Yeah,
is that
like,
wrong?
So here's where, like, where you can tie into, like, the attachment to a brand in a sense, the same way that an influencer can sell product.
Yeah.
Like what's the relationship between that person and a brand? So like girls love Adidas and they always wear Adidas, but it's like this I guess they're like, this kind of community that's together and I don't even know how I would necessarily explain it, but it's more so just like this vibrant culture in a sense. Whereas Nike has this kind of like mystic type kind of
it is
kind of unknown.
If you're not one of us,
if you're not one of us, like stay out.
Get the fuck out.
And so the girls,
seriously,
So the girls that are tied to Nike and Jordan are obsessed with sneakers.
Yeah, good point.
Because of that, and the girls that love Adidas just love Adidas because it's like a brand that they can be a part of in a sense, and it's more inclusive.
That's a really interesting point.
Yeah,
it's hard too because we've done a bunch of events too where. We've customized on the spot as well for certain companies. We'll go in, we'll customize people's shoes while we're at the event. And we've seen, like, I remember, like, when girls have brought their shoes up when we were doing Stan Smiths, I'm like, this looks sick, and they loved it too. So it's like we know it's there, it's just like we haven't been able to hit it right yet.
Yeah.
We also feel like it's kind of like, not to put, like, genders to it, but right now, like, customizing sneakers, it definitely is more heavily focused in male.
Yeah.
And so there's kind of like a barrier of, like, a girl saying, like, is it cool for me to customize my sneaker? Like, are the boys in my school going to laugh at me for it? Or, like, what should I do? So,
you're getting down into, like...
Yeah, so I think it's kind of just, like, the perception of it as well it's a little bit harder, but we've definitely sold to a bunch of girls, and, like, we use girl influencers as well.
Early on when we had a major girl influencer who was pushing it hard, we had a good amount of girls purchasing on our site.
Yeah.
We had sweet stripes around and stuff. Like, it was...
But unless you have those girls that are, like, leading the charge, making it okay, like, I think that they just kind of shy away.
Yeah. And that's kind of with the times, too, right now as well. A lot of female leadership presence and stuff. You guys are... It's a really interesting time to be doing what you're doing right now because, I mean, you couldn't do this before social media, right?
No way.
No way.
No way.
I don't know how you would
You'd have to
anyone.
know someone at a store and try and get this into a store.
Yeah, like, we could do the same thing, like, going to all the sneaker cons like we were doing.
Yeah.
But,
It wouldn't be
I mean, you only last so long doing that stuff, and,
That's true.
It's hard, like, people don't... It's a trend, in a sense. Like, you're trying to make a trend live as long as you can.
Yeah.
And when these events are catered to trends and your trend no longer falls within the event...
Yeah.
It's hard. So social media has made it easy to always find your place.
Totally.
That's fucking great line right there. That's marketing 101, man. Seriously, the modern age. So how much does Stripes cost? How can people actually order?
So we have a website, boostedstripes.com.
Okay.
I think it's pretty well laid out once you get there.
I was there today. It's a good website. It's nice.
They're going to love it.
Now I know you're watching all my clicks, though.
Definitely enter your email, watch what happens.
Yeah, I'm going to,
And play with it, too. You'll see.
Well, yeah, there's like a little drop-down where you can pick stripes or laces and, like, the shoe model that you have and whatnot. All of the stripe kits, they all sell for $15.
Okay.
And they come with enough pieces for whichever pair of shoes you're doing.
Okay. Which makes it easier for you guys. Yeah, right.
And then we sell laces as well, and all the laces are between $5 and $8.
Okay.
Some of them are matching the stripes. Some of them aren't.
Buy more than one set, we'll hook you up with a discount.
Oh.
If you're in Chicago, we'll deliver it to you.
Yeah, Chris rides by in a divvy.
I get my bird.
On your bird, yeah, but only west of Halstead.
Okay, you're not west of Halstead. You got to order online.
Small sir.
Yeah, that's awesome. What do you think is next for you guys? I mean, it's about to be 2020. This shit's still continuing
We're
for
in
you?
mystery mode.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
like a lot of it's in mystery mode.
We have a lot of different paths that we want to go in. It's gonna see how the next month kind of plays out, and then we're gonna pick one of those three main paths.
We've been conversing with Adidas, and that's been the only reason that we haven't moved on to more shoe brands.
I was gonna say, yeah, if you had Plan B project, so
Yeah.
to speak, anything you can reveal.
Yeah, I mean,
You guys are fucking honest. You got Plan B,
we
C, D,
definitely
E,
want to
F.
move into like all shoe brands to see like if we can actually reach like true scale.
Right.
Everyone's biggest thing is they see our shoes. Do this model. Do this model. Go to Jordans.
Right.
Do their first. Like just give me it on a different shoe.
And
Right.
just from the beginning, like I always wanted to work with Adidas, like doing the custom shoes, like with Dylan and Jesus, like we would talk with Nike.
Yeah.
And Nike is just like conniving in a way. They just want to know what you're doing. They want to know how you're talking to these athletes, and they take the athletes from you. Like certain athletes we were working with, they would tell them not to work with us. And so right from the beginning, I was like, fuck Nike. I in no way want to add value to their brand.
Damn.
And so we were like, let's shoot at Adidas. Like they have this whole mantra here to create. Like we can fit it, we can do it.
And we fit with I like working with all the people. We fit in well with the people we're working with. It's all genuine. Nothing of this is forced when we're talking to people. It's like we fit in well with everyone we're working with. We want to do good with them. They want to do good with us.
But since I hope we're nearing what our goal was in the beginning. With Adidas. After that happens, it's kind of like let's open the floodgates and see if we get Nike Jordan and what happens.
And it depends on kind of that discussion, like Chris just said, what direction we go.
Dude, that would be amazing. I gotta say, I want to acknowledge you guys from, fucking knowing you guys 8 years ago.
Wow.
Living in the fucking frat house at IU, and here we all are doing an interview.
Awesome.
It's really special, man. You guys are fucking killing it. It's super unique what you're doing, and I'm so glad that we got to do this and hear you guys' fucking story. I knew it was sweatshop style, like how hard you guys are working, because Chris told me about it, and when he said that you were involved, I was like, fuck, yeah, dude. Like,
hell yeah.
Got a little bit of business there, because you were in Kelly, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I alwaes remember in the you walking back, Kelly, always studying. Studying. I'm a telecom major, fucking going out. Pregame?
Partying?
Yeah, man. But congratulations to you guys. I'm excited to see what happens.
Well.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's been awesome.